A little bit of a good luck,
Okay,
have
there
fun
we go.
exchange
Good.
from the players, and now we're loading
I just had
in.
to think about prodding them to get them to start, and they started. So
Yeah.
all right, so Setsu for Mephisto versus the Milloween Dirion, and we'll have to see how this goes, and we'll have to see what kind of style of Milloween this is, whether it's like bridge shine, control-y, or more of the like cat style where he's trying to do a lot of damage. I mean, I'm sure he wishes he is the more aggressive style right now, since it seems to be much more effective against Setsu's.
Yeah. Just looking through his list, not...
Alright, Mephisto did just play a Future Present. So that's an 8-mana card, which permanently replaces itself with a discounted card randomly chosen. So he's got now these 2-mana shielded crossbow dudes, which
that's...
I kind of think that's below average, but we'll see how it goes.
I think shielded crossbow dudes are a pretty decent card. I don't know if it's really the ideal get here, and also, I mean, Dirion's running Blastmancer, which is really good against small unit, even small unit shield like that. So kind of interesting.
I mean, the problem with them is that the damage is kind of low, even for 2 mana. He might still like try to use them just to like quick bridge control, just because. I mean, it's not a 1-mana bridge control card, but at the very least, it's a little bit harder for Dirion to immediately take the bridge back, because there's not a whole lot Dirion can do for 2 or less mana to take the bridge back immediately from the shielded crossbow dudes.
Yeah.
On the other hand, what Mephisto just did with those dudes is use them to take a cleaver hit. That's another decent use of them.
Yeah, definitely a good use.
Yeah, Dirion is running the real cleaver here. Dirion pulling ahead quite a bit in experience, already 20 experience. So doing a great job with this Milloween battle plan of just like control the game, get big golems. So Setsu does have a bit of a problem dealing with these golems. They're not squishy at all, so Setsu definitely kind of struggles dealing with them, especially when Cleaver comes in and just instantly kills Setsu and sends her back home.
Yeah. There's the perk too from Setsu.
Not a very impactful perk though.
Yeah, not a huge perk, not a big momentum swing.
I mean, being able to reset Setsu's ammo is like only really impactful once. Where do those RT missiles go? Okay, fair enough. A mana puff is a small target. It's very hard to hit, especially with something as finicky as magic missiles. So I'm sure that's happened to everyone. But
yeah, we've all been there. Don't beat yourself up too much over that, Dirion. You know, it's
tried to do something else with the magic missiles at least. I'm not sure even if he hit that was a very good use of the magic missiles. Anyways, in the meantime,
Dirion's ahead in XP.
Yeah, Mephisto's still struggling to try and like stay even and experience. He's caught up a little bit. He's now only like 10 or 15 experience behind.
Yeah.
So it's still room to come
up a bit.
Here.
The perk 3 is going to be really big for both of these players. The Milloween perk 3, the golems starting at 5 or just being 5 when played is really huge. But also, you know, Setsu perk 3 is really big too. I don't know. I feel like Dirion's favored here right now. Not just because of the lead and hitting perk 3 faster like that, but at this point in the game we're pretty late in, and Mephisto hasn't really been able to get any ground on Dirion.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the Setsu deck is sort of a not a very aggressive one. He's got things like the Future Present, which might get him some cards that aren't very useful for aggression, like these shielded crossbow dudes, or like I said, very low damage, not very threatening. And he also has a mana puff in this deck. The Curse Bearer is generally more of a defensive minion that's used to counter like high health stuff that is trying to be aggressive on you. It just seems like this deck that Mephisto brought, or at least whatever cards he used to sideboard in this case, just are not very good for the general Tatsu game plan. And he's really not getting any ground here because of that. You can see here, he didn't have a spell ready to reset the Setsu. Oh, he tried with the Chain Lightning, but it wasn't in time. But that's generally what you want to do with the Setsu once you get to perk 3, is now like use them both together. Like have Setsu stun and then fire off 2 shots, and then you cast a spell to reset, and then she stuns again, and you just keep chaining stun into stun like that. But Dirion's not even doing that. He doesn't have enough spells in his deck to cycle stuns like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not the usual Setsu deck from Mephisto here.
So, I mean, it was a decent play with the Setsu there, is like getting the double stun using the Chain Lightning to reset, but like I don't think he can do that enough to come back in this game. I mean, we see like 2 huge golems marching in bottom lane. They're about to be both level 10. There's another golem top lane too. This is so dangerous. Yeah,
this is really spooky here. I mean, honestly at this point, I think it's just a matter of time until Dirion pulls out this win.
Yeah, Dirion now pulling way ahead in experience. He's 30 ahead. He's about to hit Mana Frenzy now. I mean, as long as he holds these bridges for a few more seconds. And he's also got Blastmancer as well. Like, one thing I do have to say is, if you're close to Mana Frenzy, whoever has the Blastmancer usually wins. And in this case, Dirion just even hit Mana Frenzy way ahead and has the Blastmancer. There's no hope.
Yeah, there's kind of 2 rules in play there. You have the Blastmancer Mana Frenzy, and then you have the Milloween Mana Frenzy. And I mean, Milloween Mana Frenzy with the Arcane Golem, just insane, right? It's just so much, and then it's just kind of inevitable, you know, the ticking clock now. Any moment you see the golems coming through a big push in the bot side, the cleaver gets to face there, and that's going to be game.
I think Mephisto just stopped playing cards at the end there. I mean, there's not much you could have done with like 7 mana anyway.
At the end of the game, sometimes like that, you'll see players do that. They know it's over, and there's no point frantically like panicking, trying to make some kind of miracle happen. It's better to just accept it and, you know, look at the next match, you know, move on.
Alright, so let's see. Mephisto is going to have to come up with something else. He needs to either go in one direction or the other, like either way more able to control bridges or more able to put out a lot of damage quickly.
Yeah.
So, like, versus Milloween, you can't really go halvesies on that. You can't just say, oh, I'll do a little bit of damage and I'll do a little bit of bridge control. That's like what Milloween preys on, is the sort of indecision of what your deck is supposed to be. So Mephisto needs to make sure he has a very focused game plan and executes it.
Yeah.
And his Stormbringer could be very good for the bridge control game plan, because this the Swarmer Totem that he has for that deck might do a really good job of holding down the bridges a lot better.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see if he gets Future Present again. I mean, at least if he tries it again. I don't really think too highly of Future Present anymore, just because I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot of cards that just aren't up to tournament standard. Like all of these players are just playing like the best cards they can find, and there's a lot of cards in the game, like for example the shielded crossbow dudes that Mephisto got last game, that just like aren't at the same power level as a lot of the cards that are being played. So it can be sometimes a bit difficult if you get one of those, or if you get just like in generally get a card that doesn't fit your game plan very well.
Yeah, it definitely can add a bit of a downside with the RNG sometimes. There is a chance you just get something that doesn't fit your goal overall. I mean, that's why it's more common in APEP, right? Like a really fast cycling APEPs. You'll see it there more often because the goal normally with that kind of deck is to just cycle and play out those cards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it really works the best in decks like the Tatsu there, where you kind of need a certain defined goal.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, especially you don't want to do that when you would rather have low cost spells in order to synergize with Setsu's abilities a little bit better.
Yeah. And as we get into the game, I don't want to distract from the game. The first minute they tend to be a little slow anyways. So just to explain a little bit to everyone ahead of time, Flaflorian has to step out. He won't be able to play. So the winner of this is going to go against Cat straight to the finals instead of playing versus Flaflorian.
Yeah, really unfortunate that Flaflorian didn't have enough time to complete the tournament, but still, he got third place. So
played really well, went really far. You know, he did good. Just wanted to keep everybody up to date on that. Now, getting into this game, we see the standard exchanging of bridges early on here, and Mephisto crawls just a little bit ahead, playing the Diona here. How do you think this matchup fares? Do you think this is a good one for him, likely, or?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a deck quite like this in action. It's just like a ton of stuns from the Diona. He's got this the stun, like both the what's it? Shen Storm Strike, and he's also got this the Zap Shrine to also stun everything, as well as Chain Lightning. It's just a lot of stuns here. I'm sure he's just trying to like make the big cards from Dirion unable to act. Like this Cleaver just sort of got stunned immediately. I think that was, not sure if that was oh, okay, so apparently Tournament TV is also not working now for some unknown reason, but the game continues. So there we see Mephisto using Shen to take out the golem, and also this matchup is getting sort of flipped on its head. I didn't notice this until now, but Mephisto has a bridge shrine, so he's saying, just like I said, where he needs to be really focused on one game plan or the other, he is really focused on this experience game plan here.
Yeah,
and it's working so far. It's ahead in experience.
As an experienced player, as a veteran player here who's played for a long time, how do you feel about the changes, making it so the buildings can't be played like right in the back pocket? Do you think Bridge Shrine is still a really good card, or do you think that's hurt it a bit because you have to work a little harder to protect it?
I think it's still a good card in the right matchup, although I think there are now less matchups where it's as good. Because like anything that can like be really annoying and just like constantly press onto your side of the field with like a bunch of like low DPS ranged minions or something, will do a lot better against the Bridge Shrine now that it can't be protected by putting it like back in its little safe spot.
Yeah.
So there are more types of deck that punish the Bridge Shrine.
Shock on the Zap Shrine there, and then the daggers when it misses to try to stop that Ruffles from getting that potion. Another Bridge Shrine. Sorry to interrupt you.
I will say that the decks that were very bad against Bridge Shrine are still bad against Bridge Shrine. Like, if your plan is to try and like be a little bit more defensive and just like control the bridges and not really care about your opponent's side of the field, then the new Bridge Shrine really isn't much of a nerf in that kind of matchup.
Bridge Shrines are giving Mephisto a bit of an XP lead. He is 15 ahead.
Yeah.
He's hit the perk 3 first. Dirion's
Mephisto's doing a great job of like chaining his disables together. He has Shen to stun, and then after Shen does his attack, he then like plays something else to distract the enemy for just a little bit so Shen can get another stun. So very good flow that Mephisto has going with that minion in particular. And he's played another. Yeah, but yeah, Dirion, especially on Dirion's side of the field, yeah, this Blastmancer isn't doing a great job.
Mr. Blastmancer, that's a gap there. You have to go into one of the bridges, buddy. You know, it's not his fault. Skeletons, there's only bones, you know? There isn't as much brain power there. He's having a hard time.
It's sort of making it through. It's on sheer power right now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just going to get worse here. I think it's going to get better for Dirion, worse for Mephisto here. The XP lead is pretty decent, but the real question isn't so much can he make it to Mana Frenzy first. He will. The Bridge Shrines and the way he's working on the CC and the bridges, right? He will get to Mana Frenzy. But can he win with it? Though,
because Dirion now with these level 3 golems, I mean, Mephisto has like the double traps, but that's nowhere near as strong as these huge golems right now.
I mean, like I said, I definitely think he can make it to Mana Frenzy. I don't think that's the question. I think the question is, does hitting Mana Frenzy win him the game against this late game Milloween in time?
Yeah, that's also going to be hard because
I don't think it does.
Deck is not very aggressive. Like it tends to be pretty low DPS besides like Shen's damaging strike.
Yeah. So he's gonna hit Mana Frenzy a good bit of XP ahead of Dirion. But again,
the other thing is Dirion has a Blastmancer, so if Mephisto starts spamming a ton of things, Blastmancer will be able to kill a lot of this stuff with just a few explosions. So Mephisto's gonna have to play really well here in order to win, even though yes, he is Mana Frenzy, 20 experience ahead of Dirion. Actually, I'm tempted to give Dirion the advantage in this.
I believe wholeheartedly that Dirion wins this game at this exact moment. I don't think the issue I see here that I was calling out a little bit ago even was, yeah, Mephisto's gonna make Mana Frenzy, but can he win from hitting Mana Frenzy? And I don't think his deck has the tools to take the win with Mana Frenzy. I feel maybe against a different master, maybe not Milloween, right? If he's playing against a bit of maybe a little faster of a deck, he has the control tools to slow the game down and get to Mana Frenzy consistently. But I just don't think that he has the right tools to capitalize on Mana Frenzy and win the game. And
I think like,
Dirion's about to hit it now.
Mephisto really needs to prioritize playing the Shen and the Zap just as much as he possibly can, because those are the things that are going to do the most in this situation where the enemy plays a lot of stuff. But I mean, the Blastmancer already being so difficult for Mephisto to deal with. Just all the small stuff, including the Zap Shrine just immediately disappearing.
Yeah, he is getting a lot of damage in here. This is a really good push.
Through. Dirion also hit Mana Frenzy, but
his Taunt Totem's helping a lot.
Dirion needs to deal with this top lane push before he dies, and he's almost dead.
And I spoke too soon. Mephisto manages to get a really good push through, and it looks like he might be taking the game here. He's still doing damage. Close. And there it is. Mephisto takes it.
The final blow was a Shen that had like 20 health left, and I'm pretty sure if that Shen died, Dirion would have lost. No, I mean Mephisto would have lost.
I think you're right. I think that worked out really. I mean, honestly,
because Mephisto I don't think had any direct damage in his deck.
I don't
No, it's
feel...
Chain Lightning. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah.
The Clear
that was
Skies,
extremely close.
man, yeah, I feel like that was definitely a really close game. That was a little bit, I mean, it came down a lot closer than expected, in my opinion. I know the XP lead was really good there, and the Mana Frenzy really early was good there, but at the end of the day, it just, man, that was really well done by Mephisto. Managed to get that one really good push in and control the bridges, and the chain CC, the stuns coming out, managed to help him keep a hold of that and get that good push in there to win.
So close. I mean, that last attack from Shen, I'm pretty sure if that Shen died and Dirion got a single Clear Skies off to put him out of range of Chain Lightning, I don't think Mephisto could have ever won, because Dirion was already in Mana Frenzy. He would have built up a ton of golem. Basically already
Dirion was right on the line.
Alright, so 1-1 now, and Dirion now needs to change to a different deck, which is going to be either Ratbow or Tatsu. So let's see what he decides.
I will stalk the stalkers, kill the killers.
It is Tatsu.
The Setsu.
Alright. Fairly standard bridge fighting from both players right now. Seems like Dirion is getting slightly favorable from here. Although, ooh, Dirion messed up with the Illusory Cleaver top lane. Didn't actually take that bridge. It aggroed onto one of the Armored Scraps. Oopsie.
Yeah. A little bit of an oopsie.
Now he's got to spend 3 mana to take that bridge, otherwise he would have fallen behind in experience. Alright, so Mephisto looking like he's got a very, very similar deck to what he was just playing previously. Alright, he's gonna try to... Oh! Dirion doing a great job of predicting where that Mephisto was gonna play these Plasma Marines in that little safe spot. And Tatsu proving that it was not so safe. Ooh. Dirion also really doesn't want to deal with that Xiaolong. Decides to spend 5 mana using Shock Rock and Daggerfall to get rid of it.
Just wants it out. So it's a lot of mana to spend just to kill a 3 mana minion, but at least it also did some damage to Mephisto's face. But probably not sure if it was worth it still. But I guess, I don't know. If Dirion really doesn't like that Xiaolong and decides it's like harder to deal with that any other way, then I guess that's what it'll do. Pretty even pace and experience this game.
Alright, Dirion making a move in top lane, gonna try and place Tatsu up there, and this cleaver is still fairly healthy, so Mephisto's gonna have a bit of an issue dealing with all this. Okay, he does play Shen out. So with that and the Curse Bearer aura, okay, well, the Shen's got hit, but did take the cleaver down. So, very close game. One thing is that Mephisto did remove the Bridge Shrine from his deck.
Yeah.
Probably expecting Dirion to play something a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, you don't really get the time to play the Bridge Shrine here, so it's a good thing that he swapped it out.
Ooh. Mephisto somehow getting a good exchange there with the Bridge Buddies. His Bridge Buddies did better than Dirion's, because it was played a little bit earlier. Ooh, and Dirion trying to kill off these Plasma Marines with Shock Rock, plus a little bit of like damage from dragons, but not enough.
Yeah, not quite there. And we're getting closer to the Perk 3. This is a good push coming in from Mephisto again. A lot of damage coming out there.
A lot of damage there because like Mephisto did a great job of like chaining the stuns together with his Zap Shrine.
Yeah.
So that Shen would just continuously attack. So clearly a deck he's gotten a lot of practice with, and Dirion is having a lot of trouble like dealing with all the various stuns that Mephisto's doing here.
Yeah, a lot of crowd control, a lot of stuns coming through with this deck, and it's making it kind of hard for Dirion to get a lot of value out of these units. You know, he's just kind of struggling, and
I'm sort of sensing a theme with Mephisto's decks in general. It's just like the Stormbringer I mentioned was just like really annoyingly effective, and this is like the same thing, also really annoyingly effective, but just in like an entirely different way where it's all focused around these stuns.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like another deck of his that's focused on just like shutting down the opponent's options.
Yeah.
It's still really close though. Dirion is ahead in experience. He's been on the aggressive a bit more, being able to keep the bridges for longer. And Dirion does need to worry a bit about his health, which is a problem when you're Setsu, because you want to have Setsu be on aggressive and try to take the fight to the enemy. And it's hard when they constantly get stunned by Shen and other things and sent back to the home. So,
yeah, normally when you're Setsu, you're the one that wants to be chain stunning things with the Perk 3, and Mephisto's not having it.
This is a very, very interesting game so far. Mephisto now has retaken the experience lead.
And there you see that struggle that you get when you're playing Setsu. You jump away and you can take damage, and the Diona matchup really good. The crossbow just ticking away.
Oh, but Mephisto needs to be really careful about this this cleaver. It looks like Dirion has just been ramping up the
jump into the stone. The taunt totem helps him a lot here, helps the Diona a lot, but he's still taking so much damage. Another shot from Setsu gets off 97, 67.
Just dragging well.
Dropping. There it is, too. The damage comes through, and Dirion takes it in a really close game.
Yeah, it's just like a perfect storm of everything coming in at once. I think Mephisto had a Chain Lightning in his hand the most of the time. I have to wonder if he played it, that might have taken off enough of the pressure that he wouldn't have died. Like, just like stunning everything and killing the Dragon Whelp that was present might have been just enough to survive, but instead he might have just panicked and played other minions that weren't as effective. Alright, so Dirion now up 2-1. So now, Mephisto has one deck remaining, but much to Dirion's dismay, it is the Stormbringer that is remaining.
Yeah.
And Mephisto really likes the Stormbringer.
Mephisto really likes his Stormbringer, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what changes both players make to these decks. I have to wonder. Oh, kind of an issue though is that Mephisto, sort of the success of his Stormbringer in the last match came from the Swarmer Totem, at least like a decent amount. But it's not going to be as effective against Setsu. He can jump on it and try to kill it, or at least heavily damage it fairly effectively.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how effective the Snake Druid is if Mephisto decides to take that as well. He might not. Alright, so we're into the game. And indeed, he has the Snake Druid. So he's going to be using that as a lot of lockdown in this game.
Yeah. Gonna see a good bit of use out of this root dude. And the archers. Love the crystal archers as well, especially Dagger comes out to trade there, finish them off, hold the bridges a little bit longer, but the tantrum throwers come out to take the bridges back. I really like crystal archers, especially after the balanced pass they got a while back now. You know, they're really just a pretty good unit without being super overpowering, and it's always fun to see them used in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty good.
I like,
sort of a decent
like
range
bows.
unit if you need to kill some anti-air, just need some extra damage, but nothing really too special.
Yeah,
Interesting
and I mean that's
poison. He really just killed the. It doesn't actually. I don't think did it do damage to Dirion's face. It didn't
a
look like
little,
it did.
I believe.
Oh.
I think it did just a little. I'm pretty sure it's a really low amount.
We also see a Divine Warrior from Mephisto, which we haven't seen for quite a while. It's in his sideboard, and it's the first time he decided to take it out. I guess he decided that if Dirion was going to try and be more aggressive, that it'd be a good idea to have just an invulnerable wall. It has received quite a few nerfs since it was last used a lot in tournaments, though.
Yeah.
Since at the time it was down to 4 mana, but had a 5-second shield, and now it's back up to 5 mana and still has a 5-second shield.
Oh, man. A lot of damage coming through from Dirion here. Mephisto taking quite a few hits.
Alright, how's things going so far? Mephisto is behind in both experience and health. Trying to... I mean, it's sort of difficult because Mephisto doesn't have like a really good tank minion for the more vulnerable stuff. The structures, all that this Black Warrior, but something temporary. After seconds,
Did me or...
can't really hear what
I
you're saying. It's sort of like cutting out. So, anyways, stream's still up. Okay. That's the game. Let's see. Okay. Getting back to this game.
Oh.
Things are still going well. Mephisto did take the experience lead. Looks like he did a great job keeping control of the bridges, getting good trades. And now he's also doing a bit of damage to Dirion, so again, like once Mephisto got the perk 2, that's a really big boost to his entire team with all these ranged minions becoming that much more annoying.
Yeah.
Like we've said previously, the Tatsu perk 2 is just sort of a kind of a non-factor at this stage in the game.
It's just a stepping stone. By itself, like as a standalone perk, Tatsu perk 2 doesn't really matter. You know, it's a stepping stone towards that perk 3. And as soon as you hit perk 3, it becomes really good.
Mephisto floating a lot of mana repeatedly, not sure what to do. He didn't really... That's part of the issue with his deck, is like it's really good at like counterplaying what your opponent's trying to do, but isn't very good at making like proactive plays when you have an empty board and just like full mana. It's like, well, none of my units stand very well on their own. What do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, and now Dirion has
And
perk
there,
2/3
with the
and is
perk
using
3, you
the
see the
reset.
use of that perk too. Yeah.
Yeah, stunning
chain stun.
repeatedly.
And at this point, I think Mephisto's in a lot of danger if he doesn't manage these pushes well. These drops for Tatsu very
okay,
well.
well, he dealt with the... Okay, Setsu's back, unfortunately, because Dirion cycled so fast. And now he's in more trouble. Luckily, these Crystal Archers did not get hit by Setsu's stunning laser, so he's going to survive here, just barely. Or is he? He's still under pressure.
Still under pressure. Looks like he's stabilized for now. Dirion has a Blastmancer. Dirion has the Setsu jump. Dirion has daggers and shock. Dirion has a lot of ways to clear up this last 300 health. And
yeah, it's gonna be really hard for Setsu Mephisto to survive here.
Yeah, Mephisto's gonna have a hard time staying in this one, I think. He needs to get a really solid push out. He needs to find a really good advantage. And the issue with that, though, is if he focuses super hard into one push, Dirion can just finish the game really quickly with the Setsu jump and spells. So
here comes another Blastmancer going down bot lane, and he played the Divine Warrior to try and counter it, but that's gonna mean Setsu's gonna jump face.
One way or another, I think
and
this is game here. There it goes.
Stunned by the laser.
Oh
and
man.
Mephisto goes down in game 4. And that is going to do it for this match. Dirion takes it 3-1 over Mephisto.